Ooh. Almost 1600 Sky. It's interesting. Like, would you call that hard Trick Room? Because that's for sure go for Trick Room, but it's not like hard Trick Room. But it kind of is hard Trick Room. Like, you understand what I'm saying here, right? Like, that's both hard Trick Room, but also not hard Trick Room. Right, so, let's do against this. Slowbro should be good. It's only really the Rillaboom that will hit it. Gambit's reasonable, but they've got the Fulguraf that can stop Sucker Punches. I should be able to Slowbro Torterra, but if they lead P2, then I have to Terra the Torterra straight away. Bring Sneasel against a Porygon 2 and an Ursaluna. Last one. I'm thinking Volcarona. Yeah, let's go Volcarona. Humongous might be a little bit annoying. Like, I've definitely considered having safety goggles on the Slowbro. Because then, that's a cool training card. Then Slowbro Torterra just ignores Humongous. Whereas Slowbro doesn't. Okay, okay. So I could just get Blood Moon blown up, right? That is entirely possible. But I really want to yawn the Ursaluna. And I'm thinking I might stockpile straight away rather than Sand Tomb. Because that Ursaluna might outspeed me and Blood Moon my Slowbro straight away, meaning that the Sand Tomb isn't going to be as effective. So I'm going to stockpile. Interesting, they led with Ursaluna straight away. Sometimes that strategy works out quite well, where you get to Trick Room as your sweeper survives and also still gets an extra hit. It's like you get an extra turn of Trick Room. Because then you just attack because you survived and then get the 4 turns of Trick Room. Most ideal is Protect on Ursaluna, I think, because then I just get a free stockpile. Like, Protect and Trick Room would actually be pretty reasonable, but here's the Terra Normal straight away. Ooh, Terra Ghost. Okay, but to be fair, they were against a Water and a Grass type, so I don't know. Like, Life or Blood Moon should probably still get the Slowbro, but... So Terra's the fastest thing, so that's good. Free stockpile. And they are min speed, Ursaluna. That's very uncommon because it's quite hard to get. But there's the Blood Moon. That should KO me if they're Life Orb. Well, they didn't. And they are Life Orb, so that's fine. Cool, and there's the Trick Room. But my Slowbro underspeeds Fulguraf in Trick Room, so I can get my Slack off, or they attack and go to sleep with the Ursaluna. Now, I would assume that they want to hard switch into Torkoal here as well. I will Slack off. And I think I will Sand Tomb the Ursaluna because that could switch into the Torkoal. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Because something good happens on this turn. Regardless. Like, Ursaluna going to sleep would be perfectly fine. Maybe Leech Seed would have been better just to get recovery after a Hyper Voice potentially, but no, there is the switch. That's fine. So I'm going to get healthy-ish Slowbro again, and there is the Torkoal. Okay, so I could have scalded it as well, but then my Slowbro would have been incredibly weak, which I don't think I want. That is not a zoom lensed Sand Tomb because it was just a switch. That's annoying because they're full HP. Alright, that is annoying. Because that would have reduced the eruption damage a lot. And now this is not good. Just attempt to Scald and Leech Seed this time, the Torkoal. Oh, I forgot to Terra. Whoops! No, I was supposed to... I had Terra in my head and I forgot to Terra. I am an idiot. That was definitely on me, that one. That was silly. I was absolutely supposed to Terra the Torterra, and I forgot. I've clicked way too quickly. Slowbro is clutch, at least. Yeah, like if I would have Terra'd there, I would have very comfortably lived, especially because they didn't Terra. No, you can't Terra, they've already Terra'd the Ursaluna. Yeah, so that was very poor from me. Because they get double KO here. I can't fake out with my Sneasler either, so I'm just going to lose the Sneasler. So I will just lose here because I forgot to Terra. Yeah, I'm not seeing a way now because they can just double my Sneasler. That was a very poor error on my part. That was supposed to be a Terra on Torterra, and I just forgot to click it. Don't see any way back. The only way back is if they do actually double the Volcarona and lead the Sneasler. And then that could potentially give Diaclaw shenanigans. But yeah, I think the game is over after that mistake. Yeah, it could have been Psychicking the Torterra as well. But then I'd have at least got a Leech Seed. And then I could have put the Volcarona in the position of the Torterra like I have. So that it would get some Leech Seed recovery from the Torkoal as well. Would that have helped? No. They should definitely double the Sneasler. And that's definitely way too much for the Volcarona. Yeah, like so. And then Volcarona will not be able to solo this. It did in a previous round, but yeah, that was a silly error on my part. So I'm just going to forfeit on this turn just to speed up. So that was just a mistake. Whoops. Definitely pressed A way too quickly there. I had in my head the whole time that obviously I'm going to Terra in front of the Torkoal, because otherwise Eruption's going to KO me, and then I forgot, and then Eruption KO'd me, and that is how it worked. Very silly. So if I'd have lived, I'd have got the Sand Tomb, the Eruption's not doing as much. I'd have still lost the Slowbro, but then I would have been able to go into Volcarona and Torterra, and then I can actually stall out some turns of Trick Room. And my Volcarona would have been in this position, but I also have a Torterra and a Sneasler. So then it would have been entirely reasonable to be able to go through. But yeah, that was silly on my part. It hasn't updated yet, so I'm still technically 1600s. Maybe it's not going to update that one, so it cancels out the one. It hasn't updated one of my wins. So, but that's Killer Watch Rook, that's cool. Like, Killer Watch Rook Garchomp should be a good combination. Never got around to trying it, but like, in theory, it should be good, right? Anyway, it's good against my Slowbro and Torterra. Although Killer Watch Rook isn't actually that strong, so that's something to keep in mind. And my Dragapult does not actually outspeed a Killer Watch Rook. And I'm seeing that Sneasler Dragapult could be good, except Killer Watch Rook outspeeds both my Pokemon, so it wouldn't be as effective as I would like it to be. They got double Intimidate, actually, so King Gambit could be pretty sweet. If I Terra, they don't have anything super effective against it. So yeah, I think I'll go Sneasler King Gambit, actually, because this is looking pretty good here. I do like the Dragapult, so I'll go with that. And then I don't really like Volcarona, so it's going to be Torterra or Slowbro. And because they've got a Gastrodon that would just 1v1 every single time against my Slowbro, I will go Torterra instead. And that's a cool training card. Their Arcanine better be shiny as well if they have a shiny Arcanine. There we go, Killer Watch from Garchomp, just like I said. Now, faking out the Garchomp would break my Focus Sash. What's the delay? Come on. This is unusual for the Switch 2. There we go. Right, so I can fake out the Killer Watch, but they could be Covert Cloak. I think I do need to Terra, although I would maybe want to preserve for the Dragapult. Definitely going for Earthquake here. I should be able to go for Fake Out and just Kowtow Cleave, right? Because then that puts them into Sucker Punch range. Yeah, that's a reasonable start. Like, even though I lose my Focus Sash here, and I can be KO'd to Air Slash. They went for Discharge, okay. So I'll keep my Sneasler, and let's not have any Paras, thank you. Let's not have any full Paras, thank you. Okay, cool. So that's a good start, because that's in Sucker Punch range. However, I could still easily get paralyzed. Alright, let's switch to Torterra then. And not get paralyzed, thank you. Okay, cool. That's very reasonable as a start then, because Garchomp was the biggest threat to my Dragapult. So, I think this is definitely a worthwhile trade. If they Air Slash the Torterra, oh no. It's just Tailwind, okay. Are they Wind Power? Because competitive is much more common. Yeah, it's just competitive. Incineroar is going to intimidate me, so I can try and Sucker Punch the Killer Wattrel. I think it's probably worth terroring the Torterra at this point, because Garchomp's gone. So, let's go for a Stockpile, and I guess attempt to Sucker Punch. Probably won't, but I'm content with this position. It's funny that the Terra hat is on the tree, not on Torterra's actual head, but yeah, where else would it go? That's expected, and then Air Slash, and then don't flinch. Hurricane and miss, I will take it. Even better. That's pretty good. Right, let's go for... I want to go for Leech Seed, but they can just Parting Shot and switch out. But then that would intimidate my King Gambit again if I still have the King Gambit. So let's double the Killer Wattrel. And it was Focus Sash, as expected. There's the Hurricane hit. Let's not confuse, thank you. Good. I'll lose the King Gambit, but that's okay, because now they lose the Killer Wattrel. So they can't Tailwind anymore. I can go into Sneasler and go for Fake Outs, and I should be all good. And if I remember rightly, none of their Pokemon can now break my Poison Torterra. Because the Incineroar is now trapped, because it's the last on the last two Pokemon. So it can't switch out of a Leech Seed or a Sand Tomb. And this was one of the theories of Torterra, where like the counters are gone, Torterra just wins, because not even crits can save them, because I have Shell Armor. Like that's one of the main theories of this Torterra. And it's Gastrodon, so like... Okay, so Gastrodon can theoretically maybe break through my Torterra, because it does have Earth Power. Okay. So, I forgot about the Gastrodon, but Gastrodon's pretty weak, right? So if I go for Leech Seed into the Incineroar and Fake Out into the Gastrodon, that should be okay, right? Okay, don't you dare be Terra Ghost to Gastrodon. That would be silly. Terra Fire is fine. Like, that actually is slightly better for me because now Sand Tomb is super effective. Okay, the zoom lens is gone, so I can actually miss. But I don't, so that's a good start. And then this is Protect Torterra and switch to Dragapult, because they are not going for knockoff into the Sneasler. And even if they do, I'm a bulky Dragapult, so I'll live. There's no real reason not to get recovery. So Protect. And this resets Fake Out as well, which will buy Torterra an extra turn. I would assume it is an Earth Power or a Yawn maybe into the Torterra. It was Flare Blitz as expected, and that is kind of pathetic. That's annoying, but I don't think it will matter, because my Torterra's going to win. Yeah, there's the Earth Power. I mean, the burn's going to slow me down a bit. Like, maybe I'll need an extra couple of turns. Let's go for Leaf Seed. And I think Dragon Dart should be fine. Yeah, that's not much, but it doesn't really matter. A little bit of chip. This combo won't KO Torterra. Not with the stockpile. It's only leftovers Gastrodon, so that was never ever going to KO. Gastrodon is not the strongest. And I have eyed up like Choice Specs Gastrodon, because then it actually does reasonable damage. But yeah, they can't break my Torterra anymore, because I've got the double Leaf Seed. So even though this is a very obvious protect, there is literally no reason not to. Because now the Incineroar will be KO'd to Leaf Seed and Dragon Darts, and then Gastrodon definitely cannot 1v1. Or 1v3, I guess it would be at that point. Not quite a KO on the Incineroar, so it can knock off KO my Dragapult, but that's fine. This will be Fake Out and second stockpile. Yeah, to be fair, Ice Beam Freeze, that could do it. There we go, 1v2. I probably could just get away with Close Combat or Diaclaw, but I've already made a mistake in the previous game that completely cost me a game immediately, so I'm just going to play the correct way, even though it will take slightly longer. And the correct way is Stockpile and Fake Out. I've already seen its leftovers, it can't even be Covert Cloak or anything. Nice crit. And it's in range of Close Combat now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We're just playing extra safe, because that was for sure a 100% win. I mean, in that sentence, for sure was kind of redundant, or 100% was kind of redundant. I only need to say one of them. And then Santoon, and it's Close Combat. Cool. And now I should actually still be in the 1600s, even though the other one didn't update. I did have a reasonable streak just going then before I threw that last game away, didn't I? Yeah, it's being slow to update, it seems. Ooh, 1600s guy, let's go. With, again, I was going to say the standard team, but then do you consider this the standard team, or do you consider what people call Duck the standard team? I'm not entirely sure. But, yeah, Sneasel King Gambit is usually the Nash Equilibrium against this. My Dragapult isn't as good here because it is not max speed, so their Dragapult will beat mine. Torterra has the potential to be good here. I'm not sure I like the Slowbro as much. I think I want Volcarona instead. That seems like the reasonable way round to go. expecting a Sneasler King Gambit lead from both of us, because that is theoretically the Nash Equilibrium. And if you don't go with Sneasler King Gambit, then suddenly my Sneasler King Gambit is very good against whatever else you could have brought. And that is a cool trainer card. Okay, that is not the Nash Equilibrium. Interesting. So I can go for Fake Out Magmar and Kowtow Cleave the Dragapult, right? As far as I can see, and if they Phantom Force, that would be maybe the only thing that can save them, but then they're locked into Phantom Force, and that is okay. I mean, that also works. I get free damage on something. I break the Focus Sash on the Sneasler, so that's perfectly fine. That was good damage. Right, I want to switch into Volcarona with my King Gambit now. I'm thinking of coaching it. No, I'm going to go for Diaclaw, I think. Let's go for Diaclaw into Magmar and switch to Volcarona. That should be fine. I can always protect and coaching on the next turn. But I need 2 Quiver Dances to outspeed the Dragapult. Okay, that's fair enough. And that was also fair enough. The Volcarona switch did cover for that. Cool. Right, let's go for coaching and protect then, I think. They can't really stop this. But then their Diaclaw isn't doing that much. And if I win the Speed Tie, it's really not doing that much. And I might lose momentum. Like, they could burn my Sneasler and all that. No, like I said, I need 2 Quiver Dances. So, and I win the Speed Tie, so I won't take as much from the Diaclaw, which is nice. And they can't status me because of my cover flip. So that's entirely reasonable. I would assume this is Will-O-Wisp to the Sneasler. No, it's just Overheat. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't going to KO. It does put me in range of whatever the Sneasler would want to go for, so... Let's attempt to close combat the Magmar. And let's keep them honest, which means, like, they're forcing the follow me here. Well, they didn't follow me, so yeah, that's why I went for this. Even though it means I don't outspeed the Dragapult, this is still the damage I need into the Magmar. Because otherwise, I would be KOing it very, very slowly. But that's good damage. Because they have Will-O-Wisp, they surely don't have Taunt. So I should be able to get a stockpile now. Well, I could go... Actually, I can go into King Gambit because they're minus... No, because they can still Will-O-Wisp me. I was going to say, because they're -4, they won't be able to threaten Overheat. But yeah, I still like Torterra instead. This should be Dragapult. It's Rillaboom. Okay. Well, that's just lost all their momentum completely, because that gives me the second Quiver Dance. What? Because you don't threaten Volcarona in the slightest. That's not a good play. Like, what? How do I stockpile or Sand Tomb? Which one's better? The Sand Tomb will put the Magmar in range of Flamethrower next turn, whereas Stockpile might just win. I'm going to Sand Tomb, I think, and get my second Quiver Dance. I mean, this lets them survive my Volcarona that I wasn't attacking it with. Unless this is randomly like Terra Fire, Terra Blast. Understandable. So it didn't matter what my Torterra wants to do. They're probably going for Willows, but like the Torterra doesn't actually care if it's burned. Like, you'll do a tiny bit of chip each turn. Now is it greedy to go for a third Quiver Dance? And they've actually made the Rillaboom Leech Seedable as well, which is quite kind of them. I think I'm going to go for Leech Seed. I think that's probably better. And let's just go for Terra Blast. Because my Kingambit can do with the Dragapult in the back now. Ooh, not quite. But Leech Seed will get them. And that didn't really matter. Like, it was doing some okay damage, but it doesn't really matter. It wouldn't have KO'd or anything. But the game is surely over now. I can go for Terra Fairy, Terra Blast actually, just to KO the Dragapult, because I'm +2, right? I definitely Quiver Danced twice. They can't defensively Terra the Dragapult anymore. And it might have even just been Terra Dragon anyway. Lots of these, on this composition, Dragapults run Terra Dragon and don't run Terra Blast, they run U-Turn or Sucker Punch instead. So, yeah, I will Leech Seed the Rillaboom and Terra Fairy Blast the Dragapult for the KO. I mean, to be fair, maybe the high horsepower mismattered because it might put me in Grassy Glide range after I Terra'd. And maybe this is a mistake because they could Grassy Glide critical hit to my Volcarona, but then the Kingambit should still be able to Sucker Punch KO the Dragapult, and yeah, they didn't Grassy Glide. And then Torterra would still 1v1 the Rillaboom because it went for its Terra. But this seemed quite comfortable. Like, they lost a lot of momentum by going Rillaboom instead of Dragapult. Like, -4 Magmar against and a Rillaboom against Volcarona was not the play for them. So like the high horsepower would have KO'd this Volcarona after that Woodhammer as well, but then I still have Kingambit and Torterra, and like either one of them wins the 1v1. So Torterra would just win with Leech Seed and Stockpile. Kingambit would protect in like alternately to stall out the grassy terrain, and then 2 Kowtow Cleaves or a Kowtow Cleave and a Sucker Punch would get them. So yeah, the game is over. Let's go for Flamethrower is slightly stronger. Yeah, cool. There we go. That's still positive, so still a climb. Hopefully it'll update correctly.